Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LTA 2025 matchup.
It's off with his head.
Yeah,
but
wow.
Into the series, TL versus DSG. Kicking off game number 1, picks and bans. Yone, Gwen, Vi banned out by TL, and it's going to be Nefuria, Zir, and Rumble banned out by DSG.
Yeah, and not like going into this patch, talking to players and then watching a few of the games play out in LPL and LEC prior to our first series today, it did seem like there hadn't been a ton of changes in terms of like overall champion priority for a lot of teams and players.
One of the adjustments, though, that Yone, which Abadage was piloting in their previous match, is one of the bans that TL did go for here on blue side. And TL is a team that ever since Worlds, people were criticizing them for, does this team even prioritize Yone? Do they play it? Does APA play it? And so they're a team that on blue side oftentimes will ban this champion.
Just as I was saying, how champion priority hasn't changed. Guess what? We have the Bears Ezreal trade. So exciting.
You're so happy with yourself?
I'm not excited.
Untouched in this patch, so not too surprising, but I will be interested to see in the coming days if Kalista priority does change, because that was getting banned out in the last series. Obviously wasn't actually picked, but Kalista did catch some nerfs. You know, Gwen notably caught some nerfs, Nefuri caught some nerfs, but Gwen and Nefuri are banned.
Early Scion pick up here as well, so Impact is fully dedicated to the tanks early on, doesn't care about your possible counter pick for DSG. Are they going to grab Castle something right now before they drop to the next set of bans to try and play into it? Something like Ambessa?
Or
Cassante got some buffs.
Yeah, Cassante received some buffs.
I really don't hope it's the Renekton. I feel like that's the weakest of the hovers that we've seen so far.
Going to be the Aatrox going into
this already was one of his favorite champions. This was one of his champions that he's also performed the best on, and you can just kind of drain leech off of Scion tank matchup. Seems really good to me. Yeah,
it can be a pretty strong answer into tanks. And the question is, can you get that kind of overwhelming amount of pressure where you can start chunking out Impact and pushing him back? And if you can't, can you be as effective in the 5v5 where Scion always is going to be that kind of big front line, creating space, you know, for the Lilia, for the Varus? I'm interested to see how they do. Some more bans going to be coming through as the Corki will be taken off the table by DSG.
Yeah, and I think it's like Castle has been, even in some of DSG's rougher losses, sometimes a bright spot for them, in addition to being kind of targeted by their opponents. So it's nice to see him, again, piloting something he's going to be really comfortable on, a matchup he's really familiar with, and we'll see if they'll be able to build it off of that as we see the Silas taken away by Team Liquid.
Yeah, it is interesting to me because, you know, there was a lot of talk after, first stand with Impact and kind of criticism towards him playing carries, and I was one of the people that was criticizing that. Since then, his last 7 games, Scion, Rumble, Scion, Galio, Renekton, Galio, Scion. It seems like he has really kind of reverted back towards a lot of his standard picks that he has had a lot of success on over the years. He's playing tanks. He's playing Rumble and Renekton, which are 2 of the carries that he's really been known for. And so it does feel like in this kind of time of struggle, TL are just trying to go back to what has worked for them in the past.
And I'm kind of hoping that we get an Impact Shen too, because Shen was one of the champions that he played a lot. There was a LEC Shen. There were a couple of LPL Shens as well in top lane.
It's really good.
Of course, we had the jungle one as well. But
the jungle?
The jungle didn't work out so well.
But there's the jungle and the support.
The max health damage on the Q, the buff, is actually better for top lane than it is for jungle. It's because you're 1v1. It feels so nice. So kind of hoping that we get some of that old Impact flavor too as well. But catching up here, let's take a look at the support pickup for TL. What's it going to be? Support in mid lane. APA Ziggs. We're getting a lot of shockers here in draft so far, but APA Ziggs, huge priority, of course, needs no explanation, honestly. But really, what is Core JJ going to use for another form of engage? Because you've got Scion and Lilia, which is really good, combos for engages. But if they can also throw something else here for Core JJ, who is huge shot caller for the team, and bring some AoE together, that would be perfect.
Honestly, just feel like with engage supports, it's kind of just dealer's choice. Like Rel, Nautilus, Alistar, Leona, all of these style champions all kind of do similar things, and it's just like, which do you prefer against their champs? What are you most comfortable on? So they are just going to kind of trade back and forth on these engaged supports. Of course, the Alistar can really easily interrupt the crashdown, which is going to be a nice little interaction there for Huhi. But I'm just excited to see if DSG can bring it against TL again, if they can show some strong games, some competitive games against what TL has drafted, because TL looks like they are on absolute comfort.
Yeah, they're on something that I think everyone is going to be really comfortable with their champion picks. And for me, that actually is going to start with XU, right? And seeing if he can get some early playmaking down with his lanes. I think he has really struggled thus far in this LCS stint to do that, where it was a hallmark of when Dig were kind of that old Dig team that he was on, he would essentially just go gank bot and it would end up being really successful. So I'd like to see him get a lot more involved early, especially in something like this Edge.
And when you're playing a tank into Lilia, you really have to be good about your ganks, about your engages, because Lilia just accelerates so quickly. Non-subscribers, we will see you in about 30 seconds. That Lilia can get out of control, though, Kobe. You know, if you get out of the pace of this Sejuani, you're just farming so much faster than he's going to be.
Yeah, the way this matchup usually goes is Sejuani has, some looks early on, a lot of gank opportunities, but of course the Lilia is going to look to punish you every time you do show in a lane, and so you have to watch your camps very carefully. You have to cover your camps and defend them with your laners, or else she will just pick those up so quickly, and then, like you say, once she gets a farm lead, gets into the Faded Ashes, into the Leandries, really starts to just rip through the jungle and build that farm lead.
Which makes it perfect for Umti, right? Because as you and I've talked about multiple times in terms of how Umti likes to get these invades off, and he even talked to Raz last week
sneaky
about it, right?
Okay.
They go in.
I think they spotted him, though. He was actually trying to push XU out so they wouldn't spot Core going over the wall with his crash down there, but was spotted, so it's just going to back it up.
And the goal of that is to get your timer on the Raptor camp. So this ward, not only it's going to see Sejuani when you go over to Raptors, but really key for Lilia is knowing the exact respawn time of second Raptors, because Lilia is so efficient at destroying Raptor camps that she almost always wants to steal yours. So getting the timer for the second respawn, regardless if Sejuani starts there or does not, is critical. I will say that because DSG were defending, they got vision of the ward that TL put, so they know where it is, and they'll know if they give over that extra
Commissioner
info.
weighing in. It looks like he is pro find the players.
Good.
Wow.
I'm glad, Mark. Punish him. I'll be happy to go do the collection duties myself.
Yeah. What is your fee for that?
Yeah.
Nominal.
Nominal?
Yeah,
Nominal?
don't worry about it.
Yeah. You don't need to know. There's nothing to worry about there. You can see TL trying to take down DSG. They were tweeting about it as well. We can't lose the worst team in the league. And
Why
APA not bald?
True. Honestly,
Good
if he loses
bald
this
man,
game,
he's not bald.
you are definitely one to judge.
I'm way more bald
yeah,
than
actually,
that guy.
yeah, you can call
Come
it.
on, I'm an expert here. This is subject matter expert.
I would like to decree, if they lose this game, it's got to be like double or nothing.
Like a wax and shine.
There should be no hair left on his whole head,
Mr. Clean.
including
You can like see your
eyebrows and
reflection
mustache.
on APA's
Okay, that's
head.
crazy.
Wow.
That's
okay.
crazy.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's what you get
going
for not
hard.
fully committing to the first one.
Fair. I think that's reasonable. Last time these two teams did battle out, though, one of the major stories was the top lane. Impact definitely struggled in that one. You know, Castle was able to get the better of him, but also he just was kind of getting caught out by some of these roams and ganks that sometimes were even spotted by their wards.
Yeah, I think a lot of credit to Huhi in that one. Huhi, he played the Nico super well. You can see in our nice little replays down there some of the tower dives that he started out, turning into minions, catching them off guard sometimes, but also just straight up 2v1 in some of the tower dives. Those dives got TL so far behind in tempo, they were losing minion wave after minion wave, and Castle was also a huge beneficiary of the Huhi kills onto Impact. And so we'll take a look this time around, because Aatrox with the grasp up there trying to match Impact. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, nothing too scary going on.
Yeah, and we'll see if lanes open up that quickly even, because with the objective changes, we just might not see as many early support rooms, despite the fact that Huhi is one of those supports who likes to get out on the map super early.
You can see APA and Abadaga were trading very aggressively. They both went through their potions. APA pushed him back pretty quickly here, so it is just the tier and refillable as that first buy. APA gets the full wave crash and now will take his base. and likely just TP back to match, but it's going to be XU up towards the top side, and Impact maybe getting preyed on already, will flash, and definitely was needed, so we'll be able to walk this one out. But his wave's still in a bad spot, and XU honestly could just go again.
Yeah, we'll see. He's kind of fainting back.
He just doesn't know where Lily is, so I think he's nervous.
Yeah, and she is heading up to that top side. But again, like, this is kind of the small things I want to see, finding those windows, like you said, Kobe, to try to put Impact in a rough position.
And since XU started topside clearing downwards, he's going to come right back out for those Krugs and re-clear on down towards the bottom half of the map. And there's always an option, you know, if you really feel like Impact is super far up, but probably wouldn't want to risk anything because you know Lilia got her reset and Faded Ashes first completed by here. So is going to start ripping on through. And there it is. He's going to head over that second Raptor spawn I was talking about, got the timer. They're going to meet at the exact same time. Ziggs is also pushed up, so mid lane can help.
Yeah, this is a really nice use of what they set up, plus Ziggs prio to at least harass.
And stealing all the small ones is enough right there. It is a huge part of the gold of the camp.
Oh, they're going to flash forward there. He actually catches Scary Jerry with the crash down. Scary Jerry may have to flash, but they're going for Hui. Q flash gets him. Scary Jerry now in trouble as well. Trying to hold on the flash, doesn't even use it. He's going to get taken down as well. It's a double kill for Yon as TL roar to life in the bot lane.
And they have the Ziggs ult coming over the top. Didn't even need it. I did like APA throwing that out, though. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think APA does a really good job of watching his side lanes, right? And that is a good example of it. But really nice 2v2 coming out of Yon and Core, especially after, again, after their win, Scary Jerry was talking a lot of trash about how he feels like, you know, he is equal to Yon, one of the best bot laners in the LTA.
And so it is the start there. Core JJ started out on Huhi, and then the crash down does force the flash. Once that ignite is on, he knows not going to miss this. Flashes in for the point blank, and they have the range to finish this off as well before it is stolen by their mid laner. So nice stuff there, and this is...
Nice job. Post no flash, guys. Good job.
Back to live. We've got a dragon going on.
Yep, we are on an XU over here. We'll see if Umpty can get in range. Not going to be able to. They do take it, and Hui's going to go forward onto Umpty. He's going to get shifted back. Umpty is down. Tries to flash out, but just dies. Impact has arrived, though. Comes in. XU down very low. Going to get claimed. The feat of warfare there grabbed up by TL, so they do get a couple kills. But one claim back by DSG, and they get the dragon, plus Castle didn't have to join, and it's going to be able to crash the wave top.
Oof, so that's 4 kills now for Team Liquid, pumping up that gold lead. And Yon is getting rich really early on into this game. The Varus definitely is going to be a problem. He's the on-hit lethality Varus. So the Sejuani and all the frontline are excuse me, not lethality, lethal tempo. They are going to have to really be respectful there. This is definitely a lot of gold early on, but here is another look at it. Core JJ goes in. XU is easily able to finish off the dragon because Umpty was a little bit too scared to go in for the smite, but then immediately got jumped on, and that was their kill there that Huhi was able to secure with Alistar going in and grabbing Umpty. On the back path, though, TL happy to collect those two, complete their warfare, and pump that gold lead up.
Yeah, and the big deal is, again, Yon is in a really good spot. And then additionally, this Ziggs from that kill is in a really good spot as well. They should be able to send APA kind of wherever they want to have either side lane pressure or be able to take down the mid turret with that Ziggs. And then this is the interview that Scary Jerry had regarding Yon and TL, both that scrim point that you brought up, Kobe, where they were beating them in scrims, but then also how he feels close to on the level of some of these top tier bot laners in LTA.
And as far as the lane 2v2 kills do go for Team Liquid, you think back to the heights of this team, and that's when they were at their best, when Yon and Core JJ were undoubtedly the best bottom lane in the league, feared especially in lane phase, and they would constantly be getting lane kills. So that is definitely a very good look for this TL squad. Currently, though, DSG look like they're going to collect the other neutral objective here, too, since they rotated over for the grubs. They're going to at least get 2 of them. They have another smite for XU, so that will secure at least that one, and I think that it's going to be able to get the other one as well, since Umpty is in enemy jungle, stealing away wolves right now.
Yeah, so they're going to get the Void Might spawn. Of course, these are the changes going into Season 2 in Ionia. You grab 3 grubs. If you get the first set, you do get one of those Void Mites. Obviously, it's not as strong as 6 were before, but it's much stronger than 3 were before, so it is still going to feel really nice there for DSG.
That's a good way of explaining it, you know?
Thank you. All right, Umpty could be potentially in some trouble here as Castle is going to spot him. You can see the XU is moving down, but Impact is here to cover, and I think Umpty should be able to just walk this one out. Not going to have the damage or the speed to chase down Umpty there, and we'll be able to get out pretty much scot-free and just back to power farming.
And so now XU's in the position where, since he traded his bottom side camps for those grubs, he has to make a play. So right now he has no camps to farm, so he's working with Huhi, and they're looking, can we find Umpty? Can we make a play? Maybe dive Yawn.
Could be in trouble here. Remember, he has no cleanse in set 1. He's over the wall. Are they going to go flash forward? There's the combo. Well done. Unfortunately, Huhi grabs the kill, though. Definitely the person you wanted to give it to least, but a nice flash engage there to set up and guarantee that Sejuani ulti from XU.
And they're trying to move that pressure up from the mid lane here up to the top side too. Looks like Core JJ and APA will be okay. But that's the best situation. When you're the one who just traded objective for some camps and you have no more camps to do, and you're like, well, I have to make a play. Oh, great. There's a very low health AD carry on your tower, so they make a successful play, and XU remains very efficient, being able to make the play mid, then get the Scuttle Crab as well, before now finally re-clearing the camps. So very, very good stuff for DSG to bounce back a little bit there.
And if they grab the next dragon, they would be their 3rd objective there, so that would get them the objective feats, and then it would just all be down to whoever is going to grab that first tower, as TL obviously already has the feat of warfare.
Yeah, and for that I am, again, really curious to see where TL are going to want to rotate around this Ziggs and also send the Scion, as we see DSG getting mid-prio.
This is actually
here.
really interesting. Core JJ is going...
Yeah, we can dive in.
Q in 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch me.
Think about 6. 6 can ult.
Nice, nice. We got him.
My bad.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Whatever.
Let's get top crab here.
My favorite part, well, we're going to have another...
Impact, not going to be able to get Dove here, so go ahead.
My favorite part of the comms is XU's like counting down 3, 2, 1, watch me. But Huhi goes first. He's like, yeah, I'm watching you inside the Raptor pit. Okay, I'll take it on. XU, though, eyeballing another possible one as Impact trying to walk his way out.
Yeah, shouldn't be able to get taken down. We'll see if he does have to ult, and he is going to have to let that rip defensively to get out. But yeah, Symbiotic Soul's picked up for Core JJ. Remember, it doesn't have the Empowered Recall anymore on this patch, but it does have more out-of-combat move speed, so it's kind of more similar to old Moby boots. So it's interesting to see that is being picked up here by Core. And Impact is just going to teleport straight back in. Knows, you know what, you don't have the damage to actually take me down in this spot, so I can just show up in your face.
Yeah, it's good to note because some of the other boots that were also nerfed, the Swifties, have also been picked up in this game.
Not quite as swift anymore.
Not quite as swift, but still swifter than the non-Swifties. As Impact still gets hit without the extra little bit of move speed there. Does get shoved back, still trying to farm under tower.
Yeah, looking on the other side, his castle is getting incredibly low there. APA was getting a lot of damage down. XU going to let the ulti rip, but again, they just can't push Impact out. He's just pretty much tanked up every single bit of damage possible. Avadaga now going hitting the Scion, as Yana's going to get to push mid, and he'll be able to farm plates here.
Yeah, Yon's going to be able to farm plates. You kind of see the power of his Ziggs coming through there and throw all of that. Umpty was on the Drake, right? So they're able to stop that Drake stacking from DSG and also get an objective for themselves.
And this was Scary Jerry getting caught, trying to clear out that ward. You have no vision. That is very risky. Cleanse the Shattering Strike, but there is the ulti following it up, both from Umpty as well as from Yon. So they grab a bit of a freebie there, get the cleanse off Scary Jerry as well. He has got caught playing around vision a number of times. I think back to that MF game pretty famously where he face checked. Got to be careful about those positions, and it's one of those things, if you disrespect, you will get punished.
Yeah, definitely a painful one and a very dangerous one, dealing with those control wards. Castle, a little bit dangerous as well, but he does dodge the seed there, so it doesn't get slowed, and they are able to slink on out of danger. So many deep wards, though, that TL have set in the blue quadrant of DSG's jungle, so any sort of plays that get created over here do have like this early alert system, and you have to be very careful about the counterplay.
We've seen Impact just kind of getting beat up a lot of this game, but he's just soaking up that damage, doing his job. Went for the early Swifties into the Bramble Vest, really just about avoiding the damage there from the Aatrox, making sure he couldn't actually get run down. And honestly, because Aatrox didn't go Conqueror, he went Grasp, he's more indexing towards the laning phase too, so he's not going to really have the sustained damage to likely pressure Impact at this point in the game, more than just kind of getting some poke and prod.
Yeah, and on the top side, we're going to see, I think TL are going to be set for this Rift Herald. At least make a motion around it on spawn in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, Core has his upgraded Symbiotic Souls as well, so he's completed that. You can see that he was moving into that bot side jungle, continually trying to get that vision down that you've been talking about, Kobe. And we'll see if they are going to be the ones moving up towards this next objective here.
And we do have pretty much first item power spikes for everybody, so they are ready to fight it. Impact is the only one that doesn't have the final combine for himself. And Sion always super useful anyways as soon as you get your ult off. And he goes back to base for his reset now because he's still sitting on the pieces though. So ultimate will come in. Sion rank 2 ultimate ready to go. You have to be a little bit careful about your positioning here for DSG.
Yeah, Core and Huhi both kind of posturing like they want to look for an engage here. DSG ready a little bit earlier, but now TL do arrive. And there's the crash down. They're going to be targeting Exu. Exu could be in some trouble. With Core on the other side is getting burst down as well. Core's going to have to flash out. And now it is Exu going to be the first one to drop. There's the sleep landing onto the Aatrox. He's rooted up as well by the Varus ultimate. It's a double kill for Yon as wants even more. They're slowing up Huhi, and Huhi, it may have to flash. He's not going to do it. It's a triple for Yon. He is getting paid, and TL are running away with it.
Yeah, and really nice setup and patience from TL, right? Like, Core was able to back off, and they were able to isolate specifically Castle, because if he ends up getting in that front line, that actually gives so much more space to DSG, but he ends up dropping second here as we see Core going on to Exu, and even though he takes a lot of damage, is able to flash out right there.
In trouble on live, though. We're going to have to go back as Abadaga looking for a solo kill here. He hit him with the seismic shove. He has him incredibly low. Can he finish him off? There's the last bit of damage coming through. Ezreal ulti was thrown down to the bot lane as well, but not even need. Abadaga gets a critical solo kill and maybe going to get even more. There's no one down there to answer that tower push, so might be able to get even bigger rewards as they're trying to pressure onto Castle. He's able to avoid all of the engage from Core JJ, but not going to find anything more just yet.
I mean, the ramifications for the 1v1 solo on bottom side could be quite big. If Abadaga can just finish off this tower, and with the Void Grub buff, he will be able to do it. So that is not just a mid laner solo kill. That is also a full tower taken solo gold to Abadaga on this Taliyah. He actually did have a large impact in the previous game that they played versus TL when he was playing the Yone. Got quite fed in that one, and now he's one with 2 of the early kills here for DSG. So maybe that Taliyah does get to move the gold advantage around, use that wall, and create some picks for DSG.
Also had a really good Rise game recently against Cloud9 last week. Was really in a good spot that game. So I do think Abadaga, has got to get some of that credit for ramping up throughout the season. He has been showing that he can be more of that carry threat. And DSG definitely need it. They need to have that reliable carry, someone who can get them across the finish line in some of these games.
And the one he's got to target is got to be Yon here. Yon is very, very powerful on this Varus. Got so far ahead early on in the game. He does have Flash right now, so tracking Flash on Varus and then being able to combo CC with the Seismic Shove to try and get that kill will be paramount for DSG.
Yeah, and as we see this Herald going, Huhi is still waiting back here.
Oh, and they may look now. They're going to try to go for the engage onto Exu, but here comes Huhi over the wall. Good look, and he's going to flash and knock APA into the team into a beautiful ulti there, and the seismic shove. What a combo from DSG. Locks down the mid laner and takes him down, but there's the big sleep coming in from MT. Nice shift over the wall will keep Scary Jerry safe, and this could mean the dragon here and the objective feats going the way of DSG. That was beautifully played by Huhi and Exu, but TL look like they're still interested in trying. This is going to be a tough approach, though. Impact is staying around, but Umti going to go to top side, so this should be the dragon going to DSG.
what a payoff from Huhi, right? Because they saw that TL wanted to get that mid prio, drop the Herald mid, set up for Drake. Drake is super important, again, because it is going to go for the feats. We were tied at 2-2 on the objectives, and he is just waiting in this brush for the setup, gets immediately onto APA and removes him almost before the rest of the fight even starts.
That's sick.
I love the CC layering because it hits him into Exu. There's like a 0.02 second until the Sejuani ultimate hits, so they stun him, then they knock him up, then they seismic shove, and the play that I was kind of envisioning, oh my, he's
How is he there?
Perfect reaction! Huhi!
You got Huhi'd.
Who is
More
he?
like, where he?
Where is he?
Saved.
Nice.
But that was beautiful. You love to see the Alistars going on those really deep vacations into enemy territory. Sometimes they get caught, sometimes they don't pay out. That one, huge payouts though for DSG. And again, they are still down a very significant amount of gold.
They absolutely are, but it's nice to see, Exu and Huhi comboing well, right? They were able to do that a couple times. There's no cleanses on the other side. There's not a Mikhail's or anything like that just yet. So if you can set up this Sejuani ult, you get the flash combo, you get something on APA or Yon, hit him with the Sejuani ult, hit him with the seismic shove, eliminate one of those carries right off the rip, you do have a shot. And we'll see if they're going to be able to make it happen. Looks like feats of strength were claimed by TL as they got the first tower in mid, and they already had feats of warfare, so they're going to have those upgraded boots, which are quite nice on this patch, and we're seeing people already are actually spending the gold to upgrade them way earlier, because it's only 500 gold now.
Yep, super cheap, super efficient now. Love that discount. Still is going to be Ziggs destroying towers, though, so Team Liquid will increase their gold lead. They return back to their basics, even after fumbling there on Dragon, due to a very good flank from Huhi getting into enemy territory. This TL squad still trying to focus on playing for their objectives. They have the extra tower lead. This bottom one, it's pretty low. It's been chunked as well, and that's where the Otacon is. So very clearly there's going to be some shift in focus with everybody moving their control wards and everything down to this bottom half of the map, where we will continue the fight.
And you see them already setting up for it, right? Getting prio in mid. They got that tier 1 top previously with the Ziggs. And it's really, again, this is where I feel TL excels a lot, as long as we don't get caught out in side lanes, which has been, I think, a recurring problem and a big difference maker in some of their shakiness throughout, especially this positioning phase.
Well, they've done their duty in clearing out all of that pesky vision behind them, and made sure that Alistar is not in their own jungle. They see Huhi coming from the front side. So TL have done pretty good setup this time around. Now all that's left is to close in the pressure towards this bottom side.
Yeah, and you can see 2 items done for really all the major carries here for TL. Bloodletter's Curse came through, which is going to be great. Yon does magic damage, APA does magic damage, MT does magic damage, so going to be pretty effective there. Impact just creating so much space. And Exu now sectioned off from the rest of the team. Alvadaga going to throw down the Weaver's Wall. That catches Core, split from the team, but now Castle is behind enemy lines, and he has been spotted, but it's Core JJ going to have to try to flash out of there, trying to survive. The sleep is going to be caught on too. Scary Jerry is walking through that Hextech minefield and getting punished heavily for it. Both teams, though, back off. No kills either side.
Yeah, a lot of damage goes down, but no kills. I think Castle was definitely able to almost, even though he was cut off, waste their time a little bit. I was really surprised that Core got out.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that again.
Core gets out, he gets the reset, so nobody does go down, and they're going to get right back to it. The mid wave barely pushed up, so DSG can just catch it here and expect to have kind of a rematch there. But Umpty, again, he's off to the opposite side of the map to farm a camp. He does take away Krugs. That is the literal furthest camp away from Otacon in the entire map.
Yeah, he's level 14.
He's on his
we'll
way
see
now.
if he can actually get there in time, though. TL definitely aware that this is going on. Now the teleport's going to come in from Impact. He has his ulti to join. Remember, Core, no flash from that previous skirmish. This is getting incredibly low. Can they actually nail the smite here and secure it? It looks like DSG will get it and are just going to be able to back right out. They pull off the heist here. That is going to feel so good for them. And now they're going to look for a catch. He knocked back into the seismic shove. Umpty trying to flash out. The flash to follow to stun him down, but they can't actually finish the kill. Single-digit health bar there for Umpty, but he survives, and Jan takes down Huhi.
Core JJ's locket! He just saved Umpty's ass!
Oh, they're going to look for a redive here. Abadog is trying to stay around, but Castle and Exio are caught out, and they're going to flash in on Jan. Jan's in trouble, but Core JJ is there to peel, and in comes Impact, and it's Castle that gets knocked down. TL do back up their team, and DSG getting pushed back to base here have got to be careful. They are extremely low.
Yeah, really, really nice response from Core there to be able to get the CC. They should be able to knock down this turret, their last of that outer ring of turrets, which then they can now go about getting the even more deep wards in, making the map super, super dangerous. And they're going to get this Drake off the back half of it as well.
Umpty's gonna give me a heart attack.
Yeah.
I swear. He goes all the way up to Krugs when they're down by Otacon, runs down here, and even though DSG get the Otacon, there's TL are still able to win the fight, and TL end up getting that bottom side tower plus Dragon, though on the reset, Abba actually gets out to top side quicker and answers for DSG. So TL do continue to increase their gold lead, but it is scary watching it happen because Huhi's combo into Abadaga's seismic shove again was really, really clean. And then here, the locket barely comes in as that Mystic shot went in and as the Ignite was still ticking. So it was very, 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 very close for Umpty, but he calculated it, of course.
Yeah, and here the back half, the response from Core on the rel eliminates Castle, sets up their ability to almost go for more, but at least take down that final tier 1 on bot.
This game is looking tough for Castle, I'm not going to lie. He has not really been able to find anything so far. He is building towards a Maw, which is great. There's a lot of magic damage over on the other side, but hasn't really been able to find that good fight yet.
Well, and by contrast, Impact has been able to soak up any pressure that they've given him, right? Which is huge, and I think was absolutely a difference maker in the way this matchup went the first time these two teams met, with Castle being able to potentially get the better of Impact. So really good for TL.
Exio's going to go there. They're looking for Umpty. They know he has no flash, and they're going to land the combo. There's the Ezreal ulti over the top. The Locket does do some work. Double Sleep does come through. Abadaga is here, as is Castle. I don't think Umpty has a way out of this, but look at the damage coming through from Jan. He's going to try to turn it around. Exio limps out to safety, though. They get the pick. Can they turn it into anything else? Baron is up, but it just feels way too risky.
Yeah, I think it's just going to stop at the pick for now. They do have to push on bottom side as well, so Scary Jerry can catch mid wave, and Castle actually shoved that wave on the top side of the map all the way into turret, so DSG do eke out a little bit more as far as some minions dying to the tower, but on top of the kill here that they got picking Umpty as they're fighting for vision in the Baron setup, another little step back here for DSG, and I would say since they got the smite onto Otacon, new Otacon sweeps up all the flowers that were unpicked on the Rift. So there's 32 here, and they're also empowered by 25% with that extra buff, plus the permanent on-kill slow and current health damage. Honestly, DSG very much competitive in this one, and it really is going to come down to the next couple of fights that they can set up. Can they split push? Can they possibly kill Jan, who now has a QSS on top of the Ghost? And his flash is going to be back up fairly soon, so once he has double mobility summoners and a QSS, it might be very hard for DSG to kill him, but if they can get a pick, if they can get a Talia wall on anybody else, then you can also get an advantage that way to try and set yourself up for a further objective.
Well, and then it's going to come down to Abadaga, right? Who is in a really good position. We've talked about his recent improvement for this DSG team. I think he's been playing pretty well in this game. And for me, I'm looking at him and I'm looking at Exio to try to set up some of these picks, especially if they can snowball it. Because if you do get a pick and then turn it into an uneven fight, that Otacon slow becomes massive.
Going to actually get a catch here onto Castle. Castle just getting locked down and burst down. He is gone in a hurry. When one bit of CC lands, so does the rest. Hui's behind enemy lines, but will TL have confidence to try to go for more? Scary Jerry is pushing towards mid, so Abadaga is just trying to actually zone them off, but Umpty is behind Exio, and Exio could be in a lot of trouble here. He's going to get put to sleep, does get over the wall, and lands his ulti onto Core JJ, which allows him to just back off. Pretty well played there. on the nice drifting ult from XU.
Yeah, he peels for himself and he trades ults with Umpty. Wow, chunk on Impact as well. I don't think they're going to be starting Baron or anytime soon.
And Huhi's still
so
looking.
deep.
Yeah.
He's going to actually get spotted now. Is going to look for Umpty. Does land the combo, but Huhi could be caught out in some trouble. He's going to flash on Yon. Yon is going to get knocked up, but Yon has the QSS and flashes out to safety. Yon now looking to try to turn around the fight, but this is difficult to go through Abadaga and Scary Jerry, who are laying down the covering fire for Huhi as he walks out. Great trade, though, from Huhi. You spend your summoners, you get both from Yon and the QSS. That's huge.
Yeah, the QSS is absolutely massive, getting it off of Yon almost like pretty much not right after he bought it, but pretty close to it. And yeah, that makes these next fights, especially with Drake coming up right now, DSG already there, really, really dangerous for Yon.
Huhi is one of those free roaming grass-fed cows. He is not the put it in the
Not
stable.
caged.
You definitely cannot milk those. He is definitely looking for adventures.
Yeah,
He's soaking a lot of ults too.
He is soaking a lot of damage there. We're going to see Impact go in. That's going to force out the flash there from Abadaga, who has to get over the wall. But in comes XU now and Castle. They're on the side, and APA is kind of sectioned off from the rest of the team. Huhi, though, very low with no ult. Going to be hard to fight without their support. Huhi may try to find an angle to reset, but I just don't know if he's going to have time. And that Honey Fruit actually pays a lot for DSG. Huhi now back to fighting shape, and they're going to be pulling the dragon here.
We'll see. Core now going on a little adventure
Castle is
for
now
Castle.
caught again. It feels like he keeps getting found out on the side. They're just going to try to rush down the dragon here. They will be able to secure it. Didn't even look like XU used his smite. That was kind of risky. Castle now going to pop his ult and be able to try to walk out. We'll see if they can actually finish this off. Who he can engage over the side. There's the seismic shove, and it all catches onto APA. APA flashes back to safety. Empty goes in, lands the drowsy. There's the sleep. It's going to be cleansed off by Scary Jerry. He nails him with the mystic shot, gets a kill, and the slows do proc from the Otacon. Combo comes in on Core JJ. That's going to be a flash coming out, getting him out of the seismic shove as Yon is in a lot of trouble in the back line, but he takes down Castle. They are able to get the dragon at the end of the day here, but DSG do get one kill on the fight. It's traded very equally until APA grabs another on the back end.
Gobi from downtown. APA gets the tunk. In fact, going to soak some more damage here. He should be okay. APA is dry. No more mana left, so that tower's going down. In the end, the scrap here with the extra kill going the way of TL due to the Ziggs bomb, but DSG finally getting that mid-outer tower.
Yeah, they get the mid-hour tower, and now they all will be on soul point from this Drake fight as we see Huhi finding another angle and the ult landing onto APA. Going down right there to Scary Jerry. And then, yeah, Castle on the back half of this tries his absolute best to get onto Yon. And Yon just barely manages to escape.
And Core is blocking the threaded volley right now. One of the rocks hit Yon. If another rock had hit Yon,
Guys, they're crumbling. Don't worry. It's just teamfight practice, okay? Just have fun. Have some fun. Yeah.
True. They can feel it. They're gaining so much momentum in this game, even with the gold lead of TL. Remember the unseen power of the petals that are boosted by Otacon and that Otacon buff that DSG have. If they could complete the soul as well, they for sure are going to be able to, at the very least, push TL to the brink.
And this is the gold graph when they fought last time, so it was pretty back and forth. TL were able to get some leads until DSG was able to take over the game right around that 27, 28 minute mark and really snowball it into a victory. The gold lead is 4K, but as you say, a lot of power, a lot of stats are there from the Otacon. That takedown slow actually looked quite effective in that situation. We saw that proc come through, and it can allow you to chase down and get even more kills potentially.
Yeah, and as we see TL looking to reset, this should give DSG, if not a chance to get onto Umpty, at least control over this entire Baron. And it does seem like they have been getting first to the neutral objectives very recently. Some nice setups from them.
Huhi, again, in a good spot. He has been so clever with his engages and with his positioning in this game. Deserving of so much credit. Even at 1-5 and 3, I feel like he has been ridiculously impactful at forcing out summoners, at finding some of these potential engages here as DSG just playing through mid.
Yeah, they've done a good job fighting this vision war here. So DSG have been able to get some good flank angles for themselves. Castle, once again, they put the Aatrox out to top lane, pushes another wave in, while Core JJ and Umpty try and get some area to work with leading up to Baron. They need a clear path.
Oh, they're going to actually go in. They flash in onto Yawn. Yawn's in a lot of trouble. He pops the QSS. He's trying to go down to safety, but they're still chasing after him. But a multi-man sleep creates so much space, and the crash down comes through. They're peeling for their AD carry, and they keep him alive. They get 2 kills, and now it's DSG on the run. Their carries are still here. Abadaga and Scary Jerry trying to kite out, but it's going to be TL with eyes on the Baron. They're going to be looking right for it. XU is still alive, has no flash, but does have the smite critically. We'll see if he can look for a hero play here. The Baron getting pretty low. They don't actually tag XU with that, and the eyes are on the Baron. I think TL's getting a little bit nervous. Impact is getting low. They decide they're actually going to call it off, but in they go. Instant thanks for the leech here. They refuse to let you go, and they get it with the Ezreal over the wall. XU will go down, but that is a big take for DSG, and that is a worthy price to pay.
I love it, that killer instinct. They say, you're not willing to flip? We are willing to flip it. I saw like 13 HP on this thing. Okay, Impact is getting chunked so low. TL are like, you know what? We don't want to flip this fight. We've got the gold lead. XU says, fine. We will flip. We like to live on the edge, so they go for it. And then look, they chunk it down. They're going for the burst. Ezreal ult plus Sejuani, and it was 13 HP. And Scary Jerry was able to get the last little bit of damage. Good combo.
Just hit it, just hit it. No,
Let me die.
That is why they had to pull off. He had no smite. He used his smite on something.
Whoa, we got to find the. We got to investigate. If
it was on the fast cooldown, it looked like, unless the obs was wrong.
If the observer, this is a hard ask, but investigative journalism now.
And then maybe we could do it in a pip-up replay, if that's possible. I wonder if he early smited on the Baron thinking there was no contest, because he had 2 charges, and then it was on cooldown, so that's why they pulled off.
Either that, or if he got a champion, like sometimes champion model can be really big, but. Yeah, I'd love to investigate. Actually, I'll go back in there. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna get in there.
There you go.
All right.
Investigator Kobe.
Kobe don't need no man. He can do it all.
As we see this setup,
this is
on to Drake, who he is looking for something, as is Abe.
Yeah, Castle is split from the team, and TL are going to actually look for him. He's able to slide back to safety, and now Huhi trying to find an angle of his own. But he's going to get tagged by some poke here from TL. They're trying to push him out. TL do have the better position for now, but Abadaga is going to look for Weaver's Wall, and Hui's going to take the long route around here. Umpty is going to get trapped in with the rest of the team, and he gets tagged by everything. The seismic shove is going to get immune, though. Great stasis coming in, and now the knock over the wall again. Hui finds APA. Can they finish him off? Not just yet. Scary Jerry kiting, but it's a double already for Yawn, and it's DSG running for the hills. They grab the soul, but at what cost?
Yeah, man, that's so rough for DSG coming out of that. Now they're looking for a potential kill on to Scary Jerry.
The question is, can they end? If they kill Scary Jerry, they might just be able to. Impact going to look for him. There's no flash available. He's going to get chased down. He's going to get taken down. They're TPing in for the end with no carry to try to clear the wave. DSG fought and fought and fought, but it's TL on the push for victory.
What, like, poise, I guess, from TL to kind of come out of these fights ahead, especially when it looked like DSG were going to take it.
Yeah, Huhi is back. Can he buy enough time? Castle's going to be up in 5, but it doesn't look like it matters. There's only a couple minions there, but that is all TL will need. It was close till it wasn't. TL able to dominate the final fight there. DSG claimed the dragon, but TL are going to take game number 1 of this series.
Wow, what a game. So it doesn't matter now, but I did go back and find our answer. The smite was used in that fight,